What if the god you grew up praying to was actually a real man, a warrior, an outsider, someone who was just as confused, just as flawed, and just as searching for purpose as the rest of us? Well, that's exactly the question Amish Tripathi puts on table. And honestly, it hits different. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about Immortals of Meluha, a book that did not just top the bestseller charts in India, it basically created an entire new genre of Indian fiction. So, quick context. This book came out in 2010, and at the time, nobody had really done what Amish did, take Hindu mythology and retell it as a historical fiction, like actual characters, real politics, war strategy, and human emotions. The story is set in ancient India, specifically in a place called Meluha, which is this almost utopian civilization. Think about it: perfectly planned cities, strict moral codes, disciplined people, etc. etc. The Meluhans are called Suryavamshis, people of sun. They have built something remarkable, but they are under threat. There's an enemy, a group called Chandravamshis, and the Meluhans believe only one person can save them, a figure from prophecy, someone called the Neelakanta. And that's where Shiva walks in. Not the blue skinned deity on the pedestal, just a guy, a tribal chief from the mountains of Tibet, rough around the edges, someone who cracks jokes, smokes his blunt, and carries the guilt from his past. He arrives in Meluha almost by accident, and slowly, people start looking at him differently because his throat turns blue. And to the Meluhans, that's the sign. He is the Neelakanta, the chosen one. But here's what makes Shiva so compelling. He doesn't want the responsibility. He questions everything. He asks why before he acts. He is not a hero because he was born one. He becomes one because he chooses to care. And that arc, that's deeply relatable. Most of us don't feel chosen. We feel ordinary. And watching Shiva wrestle with that idea is kind of quietly inspiring. Amish is doing something clever underneath all the action and the mythology. The real question this book asks is what makes someone evil? The Meluhans see the Chandravamshis as their enemy, absolute evil. But Shiva starts to wonder, is that actually true? Or is the evil just a label we put on people we don't really understand? There's this concept in the book that the good and the evil aren't fixed, they are just perspectives. And that idea sits with you long after you have finished reading the book. In the world where it's so easy to demonize the other side, politically, socially, personally, this book quietly asks you to pause, to question, and to look deeper. Okay, now let's talk about the characters. Because Amish builds a really rich world here. Sati, Shiva's love interest. But she is so much more than that. She is strong, principled, and she challenges Shiva constantly. Not a damsel in distress, a partner in a true sense of a word. Daksha, the king of Meluha. Charming on the surface, but there's something underneath that keeps you a little unsettled. Watch him closely. Nandi, Shiva's loyal companion, and honestly, one of the most wholesome characters in the book. Absolutely pure at heart. And then there's the Veerabhadra, Shiva's best friend from the tribe. He's the comic relief, but also a very grounding force. Every group needs a Veerabhadra. So, why did this book explode the way it did? Part of it is a timing. 2010. India's middle class was growing. People were reading more, and there was this hunger for stories that felt ours, not imported, not translated, originally Indian. But beyond that, Amish made mythology accessible. You don't need to know ancient text to enjoy this book. You don't need to know any background. You just need to like a good story with an amazingly great hero. He also treated the audience as intelligent. He did not dumb it down. The philosophy is real, the world building is detailed, and the emotional stakes are genuine. It sold over 1 million copies, self published at first, by the way. Amish couldn't find a traditional publisher who believed in it. Let that sink in. Personally, what stayed with me was Shiva's reluctance. The fact that he never asked to be the chosen one, but he showed up anyway. I think a lot of us wait to feel ready, wait to feel worthy, wait for some sign that we are supposed to step up. And Shiva kind of says maybe the sign doesn't come first. Maybe you just act and the meaning comes after. Also, and this is not actually a small thing, I love that a book rooted in Indian culture, Indian history, Indian philosophy became a mainstream bestseller. It felt like a reminder that our stories are worth telling loudly. If you enjoy mythology, history, or just a well written, well paced story with real emotional depth, absolutely yes. If you are someone who like Game of Thrones for the world building or The Alchemist for the philosophical undertone, this book sits comfortably in that space. It's the first book in the trilogy, and fair warning, once you finish this one, you will immediately want for the next book. So that's Immortals of Meluha, a book that dresses itself as a mythology but is really asking you a timeless question about identity, duty, and the courage to question what you have been told. If you have already read it, drop a comment. I would love to know what stayed with you. And if you haven't, maybe this weekend's is an amazing place to start the book. And with that, me Nikhil, signing off. We will meet again soon with another book, another quiet conversation, and another cup of coffee. Until then, take care. If you get some value from this video, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Share this video to a fellow reader and keep turning the page. Thank you very much.